Hello, fiber fans, friends, and followers. My name is Beth, and I am going to talk to you about all of the yarny crafts that I have gotten into these last couple of weeks. I'm going to scooch back because my head is being cut off on the top. I have a couple of finished objects as well as a new cast on, and still working on some of the WIPs that I was talking about. I think it was 3 weeks ago now that I last updated my current WIPs. So with that being said, and also I will be announcing the winner of the Queen Sandy bag that I had given the prompt for in the previous episode. So stay tuned for that. With all of that out of the way, let me introduce myself for those of you who may be new here, because I do seem to be getting quite a few new followers recently. I don't know what happened. I don't know why the algorithm just pushed me up, but I seem to have some new followers and I'm grateful for that. Thank you for coming along for the ride. My name is Beth. I am a paraprofessional, which is just a fancy word for teacher's assistant, in the suburbs of Chicago. I work with the deaf and hard of hearing by day, and I knit by night. I do also crochet. I have a lot of experience in knitting and crochet from over the years, but more concentrated experience within the last few years since the pandemic, hence the name PandemicKnittr. My information will be up here. You can find me on Instagram as well as Ravelry. Follow me wherever you feel compelled to do so. And let's get into the yarny things. Today I'm wearing the Bloomsbury, and this is a pattern by Svetlana Volkova, and I knit this fairly early on in my post-pandemic or mid-pandemic knitting. And I chose this pattern because I loved the lace detail that's up both sleeves, as well as on the back. Let me stand up and show you that. And it is knit from Plucky Knitter yarn, and all of the details are down below. And the details for all of the things that I have, that I will be talking about, will be linked down below as well. Most of it will link directly to my Ravelry, so if you're sensitive to those issues, please be aware of that. The next thing that I want to talk to you about is my finished objects. You know what I think I'll do? I think I'll do finished objects, then I'll do Queen Sandy bag drawing. So let's do it that way. My first finished object, I actually recorded a little snippet when I finished them because it was a gift that I gave to one of the teachers that I work with. And I was sort of late for the holiday season leading up to winter break. So I wanted to make sure to give it to her immediately following winter break. So I recorded that, and I will put that in right here. Hey guys, okay, this is an experiment with lighting. I have a torchlight right up in this corner, and that's the only thing lighting this room. So I don't know how I'm gonna like the lighting of this, but I have just completed my World's Simplest Mittens by Tin Can Knits to gift to my coworker tomorrow, and I am now putting them on my hands so I can show them to you. So here they are, and I hope they show up well in this lighting. I like how long the wrist is. I think that's really nice that you can, you know, have that nice length under your jacket, or, you know, even if you want to, you could probably fold it up and have like a warmer cuff on your hand. But either way, I think they're going to be a nice gift for my coworker. And, you know, I'm still not thrilled with the tips of the mittens, but if I had more time, I might experiment a little bit more with them. But they're done, they're off the needles, and they are ready to go to their recipient. So, yay! My next finished object is, I finally finished my Fruit Stripes gum socks. This is a pattern by, is it Leah Oakley? Let me look. I think that's right. Yes, Leah Oakley. And I would say I made these almost exactly to the pattern. I did the heel that was recommended, which I really love the texture of that heel. I also did the bottom of the foot. I thought when I looked at it that it was a ribbed thing, but it's actually a slip stitch. So the idea of that is to make a more fitted foot, which I thought was kind of interesting. I enjoyed doing that. And what else did I want to say about? Oh yeah, what I did modify is the leg. I am used to a certain number of stitches that I do on my leg, and it's been a while since I have knit a vanilla sock for myself. So I don't even remember what I did, but I just know that when I got to the heel flap and I counted the stitches that I had fewer stitches on my needles than I was supposed to have if I had followed the pattern exactly. Now, I think this was a mistake because this twisted rib pattern here does make it a little bit tighter. So I probably should have been more closely following the pattern. So if I do the Fruit Stripes gum pattern again, I will follow what they say in the directions. I will probably do this heel flap again because I really like that patterning. Although if I do like a yarn that's more variegated, like I was thinking about doing one of these again next. I'm thinking one of those will be my next cast on. Those are yarns that I recently got. I like to display them like flowers. But I probably wouldn't do that because you're not even going to see the texture, and especially since it's on my heel and it's going to be inside my shoe, what's the point? But I do like the look of this, and other than the tight leg, the only thing that I don't like about the way the leg is tight is that it stretches out this whole this pattern, and you don't see necessarily the diamond effect, or at least when I looked at it on my own leg, I felt like it just looked like the stripes were straight again while it's on my leg, which kind of defeats the purpose of having this special stitch. So that was a little bit disappointing. I don't know. And maybe later I'll take a picture of it on my leg so that you can see that. Maybe that was just my own, like from my perspective, looking down on it. I don't know. But that was made from a self-striping yarn by Nomadic Yarns. It is in her Twisty sock base. Colorway is AMI, I don't know if that's Amy or Ami, and in parentheses, Sailor Mercury. I love this colorway. I don't know if it's a reference to something that I'm not familiar with. Well, it obviously is. Sailor Mercury, I have no idea what that is. And it's funny because I've mentioned this sock multiple times because I have had this as an ongoing WIP for a long time. And I think I need to always have a vanilla sock as a WIP because I think I didn't knit on that as frequently because it's not a vanilla sock. So if I do a special patterned sock, I should also have a vanilla sock on my needles just because I need something that's like simple and I don't have to think about. So I have even thought that maybe it would be a good idea to have 2 pairs of vanilla socks on my needles at the same time because sometimes you're on that difficult part of a sock that makes it so that you don't want to knit the vanilla sock when your head is full of whatever, that you are doing your hashtag put it off thing instead of your knitting. Now, I will say that in the comments on last time's episode, a lot of people said that knitting is their way of putting off other things, which I kind of thought would be part of the responses. But with that beautiful segue just naturally falling in my lap, I'm going to go ahead and cut to my Queen Sandy bag giveaway that I drew earlier today. And I'm going to splice that in right here for you. And I'll see you on the other end of that. Okay, I have the names of all the people who are entered in the Queen Sandy bag drawing for this week, and I am going to draw a name right now. They are bouncing around in my son's Indiana Jones hat, and I have drawn one, and the name is Sandra Crowley. Congratulations, Sandra. Let me go ahead and show you your options. And if you would please contact me, my email address will be up here. This is sheep looking like balls of yarn. This is, I guess, a pastel colored, lovely polka dot sheep thing, and this one is knitting sayings. So whichever bag you would prefer to get, please let me know. And please, if that's not your real name, please give me your real name so I can address appropriately and your mailing address, and I will go ahead and get you your choice of Queen Sandy bag. Thank you all for participating in the hashtag put it off. A lot of interesting comments were made, and we'll be talking about those today. So thank you again for participating, and back to me. Congratulations again, Sandra. Please get in touch with me and I will send off that prize to you ASAP. Next, I want to talk about what I am working on, and I am very excited about all the things that I am working on because they are all coming along so well. And you know, coming along so well for me is probably not coming along as quickly as other people move along with their knitting, but I'm happy with the progress I have. So I am going to start with whatever I can find. I swear, okay, my crochet project, I know I brought it in here. Okay, I thought I had left my, or brought my crochet project in here with me, but no, I picked it up from the floor of my bedroom and put it on the bed in my bedroom. I don't know how that happened. I must have gotten distracted by something else, but my crochet project is the Perfect Pockets shawl, and it is a pattern by Sonja Hood of Knot Yourself Out Crochet, and I have gotten the entire main square completed on it. So I'm going to go ahead, actually, it's still attached to the yarn ball. I'm cutting. And I have not fastened off the end, but I want to show this big, beautiful thing. My landline is ringing. I don't know. The only thing I can figure is it's an election year. Somebody's calling to tell me who to vote for or some such thing. So this is what this thing looks like. It is a nice large size. As I have said on previous episodes, I made this for a friend of mine who bought the yarn, bought the pattern, and I said I would make it for her. So it now will get pockets added to it, as well as fringe on the ends, and the pockets are in a contrast color. And let me just try to get this out of here. Okay, so this is the start of the pocket. So that will go right here. And I'm really happy with how this is coming out. So I don't do crochet shawls a whole lot, but this is working really well and I'm really happy with it. I think this would be a great thing to wrap up with at home. I think this would be a great thing to wear out. So I'm really like, this has been my bedtime crafting. And I think that's why I've gotten as much of this done as I have. That I have, so as I said in my previous episode, oftentimes I will play video games instead of crafting. I deleted my Sudoku app from my phone. I decided it's time. This thing needs to go. And that is what I was doing at night when I went to bed. I think I probably have been staying up later at night because I want to complete a full row. But I think I have gone to sleep with a more peaceful mind because I'm doing something that's more productive. And you know, I don't know how much, like, I've heard things like that the blue light is bad for you and everything like that. And I don't know how much that affects my sleep, but I do think that I've been sleeping better since I started crocheting at night instead of playing Sudoku on my phone. And it gets things done faster. So I am very happy about that. And I hope I didn't just undo that last loop because I think I might have pulled the end. But that's that. This is all done in Lion Brand Heartland yarn in the Colorways. I have it on my computer. Glacier Bay is this gray color. And no, Glacier Bay is the blue. And the gray color is White Sands. The next WIP I have is, this one is so fun, you guys. the Solomon Poncho by Wise Owl Knits, who is Cheryl Beckrich. And we are doing a knit along with this. And it is just, it's so fun, you guys. I just love watching this knit up. This is, ooh, it's too long to show the whole thing. So it is dark chocolate is the colorway. Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me when I'm talking behind my knits. The colorway is dark chocolate, and it is Cascade Eco DK. And look at those cables. So I have gone through, I've gone through 3 full repeats on this, and I need to do 7 repeats of the chart for the front. Then there's like 3 repeats for the neckline, and then 7 more repeats for the back. So it's going to take a lot of time. I know that. Because this takes so much focus, I do only do 2 rows a day. On the weekends or days off, I might do more. But there's been another project that kind of came my way, and I decided I needed to jump on this. So I think this would have gotten more time and effort if it weren't for this other project that kind of jumped on my needles. So with that though, I do want to say, follow Wise Owl Knits, you guys. If you're not already following her, she makes beautiful things. She has recently gotten a sock, what do you call that? A sock machine. And she's doing a lot of YouTube videos about cranking sock tubes and her journey of learning how to use it. And she's got some great designs. So I highly recommend following along Cheryl's journey with that. The next thing I have though, I saw a post on Instagram for a test knit. And I don't like to do things with deadlines, but she said, all you need to do for this test knit by the deadline is the yoke and at least 1 sleeve. And I thought, I can do that. So the deadline for this test knit is February 8th. This is a pattern called the Scrap Digan, and it is by Ksenia Nedyan. You know what? I should have asked her how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. If you're watching, I'm sorry. So this is a scrappy cardigan that I am just enjoying so much. So it's a different texture with every stripe, and it is coming up so beautifully. I am loving this. I have chosen all my blues and greens that I've either used in the past or never used for anything, didn't know what I was going to use them for. I have completed the yoke, and the next thing for me to do is to separate for sleeves. It is, I cannot wait to wear this. It is going to be a super cozy thing. It is all worsted weight. And what I have done is, one of my yarns is a DK yarn that I'm holding together with a mohair. Most of it is fingering held double. And I am really enjoying this. Because it's a scrappy thing, did I list my yarns? No, I wrote C project page. It's, wow. I just saw my neighbor's dog running through the yard. Anyway, I am enjoying this. It is so much fun. I saw this project and I thought, that's cool. That's a cool idea. And I don't have to buy any new yarn to do it. And I thought this is a good way to use up some of those skeins that I have that I don't know what I'm going to do with. Like a lot of times early on, I bought what I was looking at as like, oh, such a pretty skein. And I would buy multiple of them, but not a sweater's quantity, and not knowing what I was going to do with them. So I no longer do that. That's not something I do anymore. 2 skeins is not going to make anything, but it might make a scrappy cardigan. So watch for that to come out. Her name is Life is Cozy on Instagram. So, and she's also that on Ravelry. So if you're looking for something scrappy and cozy, hers is in a white, like a neutral colorway. It's totally different than mine looks. So, check her out on Instagram if you want to see, what she's doing, and a lot of fun, a lot of different textures to play with. And I mean, it's kind of a choose your own adventure. You could probably swap out, like if you don't want to do this nups section because you don't want to put that many stitches on your needle, skip that section, do another section. It's fun. It's fun. I can't wait to finish this up, and I think this will probably be finished before many of my other WIPs. So I'm really excited to get that going, and get the sleeves going and get it off my needles and wear it to school. So I'm excited about that. And so is that all? Am I done with WIPs? I am done with WIPs, and I have nothing that is new to me. I ordered a couple of things. I ordered some project bags, and I ordered some yarn that I am still waiting to come. The yarn I ordered, I think right before the snowstorm, or maybe even in the middle of the snowstorm that was happening all across the country. So I think that kind of got lost in the mail somehow with all of the storm happenings. I don't know. The yarn that is on its way to me is for a crochet along. Check out Wyoming Yarns. If you're not on their newsletter, I don't know if it's somewhere on their website, but there is, Wyoming Yarns is holding their first crochet along, and it is the squared up jacket from Earth Yarns. So this is a, I believe it's a self-striping yarn. Unique fingering. Yeah, which I actually, okay, I have a couple of skeins of Earth Yarns unique fingering. And these I have planned for a different project, which I wish I could remember. Oh, wait. It's right in this bag. The chevron scarf. So I am going to be doing that one with these colors someday. Yeah, this is color 3025 and 3003. Oh, that's interesting. This is the one that I ordered for the jacket. I did not realize that I already had the same color. So I still like the same colors, don't I? Shocker. Anyhow, so I love these colors. I am excited about getting started on this jacket. It's like, it's a granny squarish jacket. I'll put a picture up so that you can see this project. I kind of think this might be easier than crocheting granny squares and piecing them together and, you know, crocheting them together into your sweater pattern, because I feel like the putting them together part is very fiddly. And that's why I've sort of put off doing that part of my Rena sweater. So I'm thinking maybe what I'll do is have that as my next crochet project once I finish my shawl, the Perfect Pockets. And hopefully that gives me more crochet practice to be feeling more comfortable about putting granny squares together. I don't know if it'll work out that way, but I'm hoping. So definitely, if you are interested in crocheting, if you liked any of those colors, check out Wyoming Yarns. They are getting ready for this crochet along, and that says Carista will place a special order before the end of January for unique fingering, and for special crochet along pricing, any purchase of 5 or more skeins will qualify for 10% off. So Wyoming Yarns, check them out, order from Carista, crochet along with me. Okay, let's get into comments. Is that really where I'm at? I feel like it happened too fast. I don't know. Anyhow, a lot of you commented about what you do as far as putting things off. I'm not going to read all of the comments. I'm just going to kind of skim through right now. I have not picked ahead of time what I want to read, but I will read a couple here and there. Stephanie Benson said, not a bad WIP count. Speaking of which, okay. So I was counting my WIPs. Did I think I came up with like 22 or 23 at the end of that. So now the mittens are off my needles and the socks are off my needles. I will be starting a new pair of socks just because that's an easy, mindless knit to have. And I want to cast on a new pair of socks. Okay, so taking those two out, that brings me down to 20 or 21. I can't remember what my WIP count was. And then with the new cast on sweater, that brings me up to 21 or 22. So I'm down one, which is good, but I'm gonna cast on another pair of socks. So I'm like at the same point, really. And I don't know when that's gonna happen, so we shall see. So she goes on. You've got this one at a time. I had 17 at the beginning of 2023 and knocked them all out. However, mine were not sweaters. This year, I start with 7 and will get them done. Nice job, Stephanie. I count my knits, crochets, English paper piecing, and occasional cross-stitch projects. I don't count my charity hats and scarves as WIPs though, and always have those going on. I'm a pro at #PutItOff. I do force myself to take small breaks from crafting for a tiny bit of laundry, cleaning, and cooking so I'm fed in clean clothes and do not live in a total mess. But mostly I craft and I'm happy. I like that, Stephanie. I think, you know, I wish I was throwing myself more into the crafting and being more conscious of what I need to have on my needles to have that as my put it off thing. Because yes, I procrastinate on the laundry and the other things too. You know, you're not gonna find like a lint-free home here. But yeah, I wish that was my situation. And a lot of you said that. A lot of you did. The next one is Eileen. Eileen said she's amazed at my unfinished WIPs, and she has 6. She said she also got a ton of snow, and after a warm green December, they had 2 snow days in 1 week, which like that's, yeah, I feel like most of the country had that, and that was so weird. But, you know, a word that has come up. So Eileen said she's got 6. Stephanie said she's got 7. And a word that kind of came up from me to all of these people who were talking about their much lower WIP counts was disciplined. And I think that's interesting because I kind of like the idea of having a word each year that you strive toward. And this year for me, my word is organized. And I would like to be like, have, you know, a place for everything in its place. And I would say I have gotten somewhat more organized. I have more ideas of how I want to be even more organized since the beginning of the year. But I need to fine tune it. So I feel like this year it's organization, and next year it can be discipline. Either that, or I can get organized before the end of the year, because I shouldn't need a full year to get organized, right? And be more disciplined toward the end of the year. How's that sound? I think that's a goal. I think that's a goal. By July, disciplined should be my word. Eileen and I had talked previously about a get-together. I want to do another get-together. So anybody who's interested in a get-together anywhere between Northern Illinois, Wisconsin, anybody who's interested in the Midwest area, I want to find a place, I want to meet up, mid-Wisconsin. I am looking toward a get-together in April. So hit me up if you're interested. You can chat with me on Instagram. You can comment below. You can send me an email, whatever your preference is, and I'll make sure that you are on the list of people to make sure to finalize those last minute plans with. Okay. Janet says, your WIPs are amazing. Thank you, Janet. Can't wait to see some of them finished. I thought your idea of cutting the long ones and weaving them in wasn't a bad solution to that intarsia blanket. This one right here. If you haven't seen what I was talking about with that one last episode, the details are there. Also, you could sew a backing for the blanket to cover the floats. I like that idea. I may have to do something like that. Anyway, I hope you figure out some of the WIPs that have problems because the yarns are so beautiful. I tend to knit when I'm putting off housework, but other times I'm like you and waste hours on games, but mostly word games. I like the word games too. I would say mainly for me, it's the New York Times games. Like that is my wake up in the morning thing. I do Wordle, I do Spelling Bee, I do Connections, and I do the mini crossword. it takes maybe like 10-15 minutes, but it's those like wake up the brain things in the morning. So it's while I'm drinking my morning cup of coffee. So yes, I do word games too. And she says, oh, well, I hope my brain is benefiting. Me too. I just finished a cardigan for my son. Good job. So be aware those men's sized sweaters really eat up your knitting time. Yeah, that's, you know, as much as I want to have that finished, I feel like I want to have my own things finished too. I started this back in early summer and thought I'd be finished by Christmas, but just finished it yesterday. Of course, some other Christmas gift knitting did get in the way too. Isn't that always the case? Like, I feel like every year I tell myself, I'm not doing any gift knitting. I'm not going to do it. I hate deadline knitting. And then I think, wouldn't this be perfect for that person? But if I knit for that person, then I have to knit for that person too. Do I really want to do all that much knitting? And then I do it. And then I'm mad at myself for doing it because I'm not enjoying it as much as I should. I need to start in, like, at that Christmas in July time. I need to have the spirit move me that these are the people I want to knit for. But then when the school year starts, there's a whole new ballgame. Anyhow. Yes, Janet, thank you for your comment. Dora says, yowza, Beth. I have to tell you, Dora, my mom texted me, yowza, Beth, and said something about your colors are my colors too. Did you? No, you didn't say that. But she texted me this and I was like, did somebody like get my mom's phone and find out that I'm her daughter and see my YouTube? And like, what happened here? Because this is not how my mom talks. And so I said, what are you talking about? So she was watching the video and she saw your the beginning of your comment and she couldn't figure out how to click and see the rest, I guess. So this caused a lot of confusion in my world. Anyhow, she says, that's a whole lot of WIPs. I say, frog the ones that you've just started and make them part of your queue, like the colorwork socks and the yellow tee. I only have 2 to 3 WIPs at a time. My queue is horrendous, but I keep the WIPs to a manageable number. Just schedule a day to start tackling them. Have a good week. Thanks, Dora. Okay, so I think this is great advice. I like the idea of taking those like little bitty things and being like, this isn't a WIP anymore. It's just in my queue. I think it's a good idea to not have it feel like something that is waiting for me to do something with it. So I like that idea. I may or may not do that. I don't know. We'll see where I'm at. As I get organized, it might be a good thing for me to do. It might be part of my organization. I think that's a great idea, Dora. Sandy says, your WIPs. I've spiraled into real life and I'm just getting back into knitting. I need to count my WIPs. So you're inspiring. I hope so. I hope I inspired other people to, you know, take a deep dive into their own WIPs and figure out like what they want to work on, what they want to frog, and etc. I'd like to get things done. I really need to figure out a way to do that. And I know, like, okay, Finish It February is coming up. Any of you planning to participate in Finish It February? That is something that Roxanne Richardson hosts on her Ravelry discussion group. And I think that's a really cool thing. I will say for me, February is a very busy month. My family, we have 3 birthdays in February, including mine. So it gets very busy, and my wedding anniversary is March 1st. So I don't know how much I will be finishing in February. My weekends get kind of busy with all the family happenings. But I'm thinking about doing another March to the Finish knit along, which would be take your lingering WIPs and in the month of March, finish them up, because finish it February is not enough time. Whatever you're into, quilting, sewing, painting, macrame, I don't care. But we take those lingering WIPs and we march them to the finish in the month of March. So I am very likely to run that knit along again, and we'll see where that goes. Selfish Knitter says, the problem with my one WIP, which is what she currently has, hi Colleen, is that I don't have a good car knitting project ready to go at any moment. This is why I #put it off. This is why I'm not knitting as regularly as I'd like to. And she says, I would like to cast on a hat or a sock, but without taking focus away from my sleeves. So Colleen is currently working on a sweater that is gorgeous. You guys should follow Selfish Knitter on Instagram if you're not already. She's got a lot of good things to show. So yeah, it's that balancing act of, you know, don't let the WIPs overwhelm you, but don't let your current WIP prevent you from working, which is what on my last episode I said. I stopped knitting because I felt guilty that I wasn't knitting the one thing that I felt I should be knitting. And I don't want to get there again, because that stopped me from knitting for years. Let's see. Stephanie of Texas Peach Knits also said, Frog the Yellow Tea. That's one I agree with. And she said, 1 square for a scrappy blanket is not a WIP. It's a swatch. I like that. That's still sitting here, this 1 square. I'm pretty sure I have more than one. I'm pretty sure I finished a couple of them. I just don't know where I put them. They're somewhere in the organization. I hope they show up. Otherwise, I may be short a few squares on my scrappy blanket. Wendy says, there are so many WIPs and other things I want to cast on. I haven't done a tally, but there are many. When I'm overwhelmed, I usually scroll on Instagram or Telegram. I'm hoping to finish at least 1 WIP before I cast on something new. We'll see how it goes. Good luck with all of yours. I look forward to seeing your thought process and decision making throughout the year. Thanks, Wendy. Yeah, I can see that. Colleen, Selfish Knitter, called it doom scrolling. I may have mentioned that before. Okay, I want to mention the comment of our winner of the Queen Sandy Bag giveaway. Sandra says, I have just slightly too many WIPs at the moment and also want to cast on something new, but I'll hold off a bit. During COVID times, I enjoyed doing jigsaw puzzles. I got a puzzle for Christmas, and since then, I've been doing puzzles when I should be doing other things. #put it off. Yes. I love jigsaw puzzles. I had one. I like to do them usually when I'm on a break from school. So winter break, I started a puzzle. Just this week, I decided I'm not finishing that puzzle because it was a Christmas themed puzzle. So I thought this needs to come off. It was on the coffee table and it didn't even fit fully on the coffee table. So I just decided, done with this, I'll do it next Christmas. When you have too many things that you use to put off doing the things that you should be doing, it's time to put them away. But I will say that in reading through the comments on what everyone had to say, a lot of you are casual gamers too. So I feel like I have my knitting family here following me. Like we are kindred spirits. Yeah, a lot of people can relate to the same things as me. So it's interesting that, you know, the people who follow me are the people who are like me. Shocker. Wonder how that works. So with that being said, I think I have covered everything I wanted to cover this week. If any of you have anything that you need to reach out for, feel free to do so. I will put my information right up here again, as well as invite you to comment below. I feel like there was something that did I specifically give you any prompt to comment about? Should I give you something to comment about? What are you working on? Have you cast on anything new? Have you bought anything new? I am going to go ahead and sign off, and I will see you on the next episode. And I will be talking about all of the things that I'm getting done, because that's what I'm going to be doing, is getting things done. So thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, survive, and thrive. And I will see you next time. Bye.